Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Huge spoilers Friday, August 2. TJ's fears, Kristina's crisis, Dante's arrest. General Hospital, spoilers and updates for Friday, August 2. T's one man's fears. A woman in a medical crisis and an arrest. Next on General Hospital. TJ Ashford, Taj Fellow, still fears his baby being taken, while Kristina Corinthos Davis, Kate Mancy, is in a medical crisis, and Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, will make an arrest. T's fears, TJ, still at the hospital talking to Alexis Davis. Nancy Lee Gran, still fears Kristina will try to take his and Molly Lansing Davis. Kristen Vaganos, baby. He comes out and asks Alexis, who looks put on the spot and upset what she's going to do when it happens. The last thing Alexis wanted or needed was to be in the middle of her too. TJ will get the alarming news shortly, perhaps while Alexis is still there, or will Kristina be brought in while he's the attending at the ER. Kristina's medical crisis. Jocelyn Jacks, Eden McCoy, leaps into action as she's the lifeguard on duty at the Metro Court pool, and she may need some additional medical help. Allison Blaze Rogers, Jacqueline Grace Lopez, screams as she sees Kristina's face when Jocelyn turns her over in the pool, and Jocelyn will be shocked as well. Kristina went through the window of Ava Jerome's Mora West suite, cutting her face and falling face first into the water and baby bump first. It's plain that Kristina is unconscious, and it's a medical crisis for both her and the baby she's carrying. Detective Harrison Chase arrives at the scene. The police first responders are at the scene by the time Detective Harrison Chase, Josh Swickard, arrives and secures the scene. He tells the blue uniformed pair he doesn't want anyone leaving there without his okay. It's likely been determined that Kristina plunged into the pool, appearing to have been pushed through the window of Ava's suite, and Ava's in a custody battle with her father. That makes this a potential crime scene, even if Joe Palmieri, Giovanni Mazza, did call it in as an accident. Chase wants to get to the bottom of why Kristina went out that window into the pool, with both her and the baby's lives in danger. Dante makes an arrest. Dante will make an arrest, but first he talks to someone who apparently says they know something. This could very well be the spy Sonny Corinthos, Morris Bennard, called Brick Stephen A. Smith, to dispatch, to take pictures at Ava's suite. His intentions might have been for proof Ava and John Jagger Cates, Adam J. Harrington, were hooking up to use against Jagger and likely Ava. But Sonny won't expect Kristina in the photos, having left to confront Ava right after he told her she wouldn't have to testify. Will Ava be the one Dante arrests? Sonny alienates a friend. Sonny doesn't know about Kristina's medical crisis yet, as he's still arguing with Lois Cirillo, Rena Selfer, in his office. Lois hadn't had the last word when Sonny accused her of being a traitor too, and told her to leave his office. Now she claps back that she won't table it when it affects her daughter's future. She had been talking to Sonny about bankrolling the new label for Blaze to record on, making Brooklyn Quartermain Chase, Amanda Sutton, the one to run it. Lois wanted to make sure this label wasn't just going to be another legitimate business to cover up mob activity. And Sonny got mad now he'll alienate her too. Ava cries out for help. Back at Ava's suite, she's on the phone to someone crying out for help. She tells the person she needs them like she never needed them before. It could be Scott Baldwin, Ken Schreiner, considering she's definitely going to need a lawyer. Or might she be talking to her new lover Jagger? It honestly was an accident, but no one will believe it with Ava's track record. She tried to push her own brother off a parapet of Windermere Castle. She and Kristina were arguing about Kristina's testifying against her father about when he beat up Dex Heller, Evenhofer, for the custody case. She turned and tripped over Jagger's bag and went through the window. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Kiek right now. Come back here often for General Hospital spoilers, news, and updates. The sun was setting over Port Charles, casting a warm golden hue over the town. Inside General Hospital, the atmosphere was far from tranquil. T.J. Ashford, a respected doctor with an unshakable demeanor, found himself grappling with an intense fear. T.J. stood in the bustling emergency room, staring blankly at a chart. The usual hustle and bustle seemed distant, his mind preoccupied with a deep-seated worry. Molly Lansing Davis, his fiancée, had been acting strangely, and a sense of dread gnawed at him. Her once bright and optimistic eyes now held shadows, and TJ feared the worst. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Across town, Kristina Corinthos Davis was in the midst of a crisis. At the Dawn of Day Community Center, Kristina had been striving to rebuild her life, focusing on positivity and self-improvement. However, the recent revelation about her father, Sonny Corinthos, losing custody of her younger sister, Avery, had thrown her into turmoil. Kristina sat in her small apartment, tears streaming down her face. The weight of her family's struggles bore down on her, making it hard to breathe. She clutched her phone, debating whether to call her mother, Alexis, or her brother, Michael. She felt lost like a ship adrift in a stormy sea, unable to find her way back to calm waters. Her mind raced with thoughts of what she could do to help, but the solution seemed out of reach. Meanwhile, Dante Falconieri was facing a crisis of his own. After months of trying to adjust to life back in Port Charles, Dante found himself entangled in a legal mess. Earlier that day, he had been involved in a heated altercation with a known criminal. Things had escalated quickly, and now Dante was being accused of excessive force. Dante stood outside the police station, his heart pounding. He glanced over at his partner, Detective Harrison Chase, who offered a sympathetic look. Dante had always prided himself on upholding the law, but now he found himself on the other side of it. "You'll get through this, Dante," Chase said, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "We'll prove your innocence." Dante nodded, though doubt lingered in his eyes. He knew the odds were stacked against him. The media had already caught wind of the incident, and headlines screamed about police brutality and misconduct. Dante feared for his career, but more importantly, he feared for his family's safety. Back at the hospital, TJ's worst fears were confirmed when Molly was admitted for a medical emergency. He rushed to her side, his heart itching with worry. Molly's face was pale, and she looked up at TJ with a weak smile. "It's going to be okay, Molly," TJ whispered, squeezing her hand. "I'm here with you." As the doctors worked to stabilize Molly, TJ's mind raced with thoughts of what could have gone wrong. He felt helpless, a feeling he wasn't accustomed to as a doctor. All he could do was hold Molly's hand and pray that she would pull through. At the same time, Kristina made a decision. She couldn't sit idly by while her family fell apart. She grabbed her keys and headed out the door, determination in her step. She drove to Sonny's house, where she found her father sitting alone, a rare look of vulnerability on his face. "Dad," Kristina said softly, sitting beside him. "We need to talk." Sonny looked up, surprised but grateful. "Kristina, I'm so sorry about everything." "I know, Dad," she replied, her voice steady. "But we can't change the past. We have to focus on what we can do now. I want to help." "Let me help." Sonny's eyes welled with tears as he pulled Kristina into a hug. "Thank you, sweetheart. I don't know what I'd do without you." As they talked, Kristina felt a renewed sense of purpose. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she was determined to stand by her family's side, no matter what challenges they faced. Meanwhile, Dante's situation took a turn for the worse. As he was being processed at the police station, A group of protesters gathered outside, demanding justice. Dante's heart sank as he saw the anger and distrust in their eyes. He had always strived to be a good cop, but now he was being vilified. Chase managed to pull some strings and got Dante released on bail. As they walked out of the station, Dante's phone buzzed with a message from his mother, Olivia. "Come home, Dante. We need to talk." Dante sighed, knowing that facing his family would be just as difficult as facing the public. But he knew he couldn't run from his problems. He had to confront them head-on, just like he always had. As night fell over Port Charles, the town's residents faced their fears and uncertainties. T stayed by Molly's side, praying for her recovery. Kristina found strength in her family's unity, determined to help them weather the storm. And Dante, though burdened by doubt, resolved to fight for his reputation and his future.